Footy always? Like you always played footy?
Not always. Sports? I only started when I was about 13. So always loved it. Yeah. Always loved it from a very young age. Was probably influenced by my cousins. So my mum's American, and my mum and my auntie are quite close, and she had 4 boys. They're all a bit older than me. So I remember, from a young age being down at Thornley Football Club, watching them play on the weekends and just loved being there, the atmosphere. Always, was waiting for quarter and half-time breaks so I'd go out and kick the footy.
Yeah.
Kick the footy with the boys, and loved Eagles from a very young age as well. I remember my auntie and uncle have been members for, I don't know, 20 odd years or something. So whenever there's a ticket free and someone couldn't make it, I would always put my hand up and go. So loved it from a very young age.
So what sports did you play?
A bit of everything in school, like, through school you kind of, do everything, and I played a few seasons of netball. And really enjoyed it. Was a bit of a pocket rocket, centre, everywhere. But was constantly nagging mum to let me play football. And back then, there wasn't that many opportunities. Like I wanted to play Auskick, but she was like, "Oh no, like boys, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And then we were living in Melbourne at the time, and I finally grounded down, and she did a little bit of research and found that a junior football club in East Malvern had a girls team. And she, asked if I wanted to play, and I was like, hell yeah, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Went down and played, and actually got my nickname first game.
Which was?
Cyril Rioli, because I think I was playing like a forward pocket because I was pretty scraggly back then. Had a few snaps on goal. None of them came off, but I think the effort and the attempts were there. So Cyril stuck in my first year in Victoria, and all the Victorians kind of called me Cyril for a bit.
Also, when did you move over? West?
So we moved over in 2006 and moved back then 2010. So managed to get a season under my belt there, and moved over here, and wanted to continue playing because I just loved my first season there. And mum did a bit of research, found that we were living at my auntie's house at the time in Southern River. She just did a bit of research and found that, I think based on where we were kind of looking at living, East Freo was, I think, the better option for me. And awesome. I didn't realise until I think it was about a week before I was about to head down to pre-season training. She was like, "Oh, just to let you know," she's got an American accent, "just to let you know they're a bit older." Because I'd been playing youth girls, so 13, 18, and they were full-grown women that I was playing with, and I was 14.
Oh, wow.
At that time. So, I think back then there wasn't a youth girls competition.
Yeah.
So we had like a lot of, young girls. Like there's, a big group of us that kind of went through that pathway together playing women's football, but, not being of age. So we had to get, I think, a permit. So I think someone from the commission would come down and just, watch your first game to see if you weren't going to get killed. Yeah. And I managed to get through, and which is surprising because there wasn't much to me back then. Still isn't, but that's all right.
Do you feel like that playing with the older women made you a better
100%.
player? Yeah.
Like I do wonder like what kind of player I would be if I did go through like the youth girls program, like, playing at that level. I think it just made me progress like a bit quicker, especially like physicality wise. Like I just 100%. Felt like my I guess the way that I kind of played was, the harder I go, the less likely I am to get injured. And for the most part, it's worked. There's a few times that hasn't come off. But it just made me progress. And I always felt like I had something to prove as well because I was so young and so small as well. So I think, I'd love being the underdog. So, that was interesting.
You see that a lot now with in the guys program, like the younger guys who are kind of in their draft years, they're going up to play or training it. If not making the team, they're training with the older guys just to get a little bit more experience, because as soon as you go up and play in AFL, you're straight in with men.
And it just forced me to work like that a little bit harder as well. Like I don't think I've ever been, like my skills were never like at that level because I'd been playing for so long. So I just relied on my work rate and, developed, second, third efforts because I wasn't probably hitting targets as much as I should. So, I think that kind of, set me up to be, the player that I am now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's so, and even as well, even the training as well, if it was a youth competition, then would not be nowhere near have been as tough or as common demanding as what the senior girls would have been as well.
Yeah, exactly. And just
preparation,
the elite. Well, probably not back then, but we did have elite players that were playing, state women's and eventually getting drafted, playing those exhibition games. Melissa Caulfield. Like I was playing with her when she was in her prime. Like she was like if she in her prime she would be probably the number one midfielder in AFLW. So I was fortunate enough to see that, and some people
that's true.
You hear the miss, but I was there when it was happening. It was pretty incredible to watch.
Insane.
Yeah.
So how long were you playing at? Was it you were at East Freo until kind of the rumblings of